So your dad, going to try to sum it up for people. So your dad, through his research, discovered some plant extracts that basically stopped the cancer cells from the rapid reproduction.
Yes, so those plant extracts, Paupera or Wolffia vomitoria, are able to selectively recognize the cancer cells. They penetrate those plant extracts, which happen to be naturally fluorescent. So you can see under the microscope how they penetrate cancer cells, and they induce apoptosis of cancer cells, meaning the death of the cancer cells.
The death of them. Okay.
On the other hand, they surround healthy cells without penetrating them. So no toxicity, no side effects for healthy cells, but death selectively on cancerous cells. And since it means, they make the difference between cancer cells, healthy cells, you stop thinking in terms of lung cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer. They will recognize those cells which have a cancer DNA, these open loops where the hydrogen bonds have broken. And so that makes plant extracts, which are really basically working on all kinds of cancer cells. My father tested on 16 different kinds of cancer cells and was also able to show no cytotoxicity for healthy cells. So over the years, we have been able at the Beljansky Foundation to work on. We cannot, of course, to work on all kinds of cancer cells because there are as many cancer cells as organs. It's not possibly, it would be just too expensive. But we have been able to work on ovarian and pancreatic cancer stem cells, prostate cancer stem cells, and now we are wrapping up a beautiful study on breast cancer stem cells. We have been also able to work on different stages of cancer, from inflammation to full-blown cancer to advanced cancer, which does not respond to hormonal treatment. And now we are working on cancer stem cells. And what we see is that there are different mechanisms of action which are involved, but every time those little plant extracts find a way to be useful and to destroy those cancerous cells. It's just multiple mechanisms of action, always used for good, never for toxicity. And we also have been able to confirm the synergy with chemotherapies, which is very important because people generally don't want to choose, especially when they have a serious cancer. I mean, but even when there is resistance to chemotherapies, we have those little plant extracts will continue to be effective against those resistant cells. So beautiful things. And we were studying some ovarian cancer, and we could see that none of the mice we were working with had developed metastasis. And that has now led us to do research on cancer stem cells, which are those cells which are not affected to chemotherapy. Chemotherapy doesn't destroy cancer stem cells because they are slow dividing. So those cells are within the tumor, they are embryonic, and they are, let's say, the generation 2. They are the future metastasis, the future cancer relapse. And the chemotherapy just doesn't see them. And that's why you have 20% an average, and depends, all cancers are not equal, but let's say an average of 20% of cancer that will come back. And that means also 100% of people are concerned to be the one whose cancer is going to come back. So if we can, help those people from day one of cancer diagnosis, help them, fight in synergy with their conventional treatment, fight cancer cells, and also give them the peace of mind, thinking that they are also addressing cancer stem cells. I mean, that's huge. And that makes, everything I am doing, I mean, I feel blessed I have the opportunity to do that.
What a change from being a lawyer. It sounds like you're like a PhD in cancer now. Sylvie, I think I interrupted you and I didn't quite catch, like, why did the government come in and do this to your father? Was it your father's lab, or why did they do that? Or whoever do it? Maybe it wasn't the government.
The answer is that I don't know. I don't know who gave the order. And I can only suspect that it was some people who just did not want to see something natural, something integrative, get some recognition, and officially do better than the drugs that were available.
Again, this is a thing with a lot of integrative or holistic type of approaches, natural approaches. There's not a lot of money to be made. So then funding the research is an issue, right? There is a lot of money to be made when people are on drugs, drugs for life or expensive drugs. I mean,
yeah, follow the money, of course.
Yeah.
And pharmaceutical companies, it's like tobacco companies. They have a lot of money, and they don't like. Even if the market for natural ingredients is very, very small, never going to take over pharmaceutical companies. They don't like to see that there are other options. They don't like it. They don't like to see that something else can be science backed, and they like to destroy everything. And they destroy the work of my father, I would say, before it could be confirmed by independent academic institutions. And it was easy at this point to say it's hocus pocus, it's not proven, and just rubbish. And that's why I felt so important to have the independent academic validation.
Yeah. It's amazing. So is there a particular plant, or is it different plants?
So there are two plant extracts mainly. I mean, he focused on, he's screened a lot, but he felt that two had the most potential, and it's Paupera, which is coming from South America, and Revolfia vomitoria coming from West Africa. Revolfia vomitoria is quite well known in Ayurvedic medicine, but we remove the reserpine because the reserpine can be toxic and has been associated with some actually inducing breast cancer back in the 80s. So what we is using is a very purified extract of Revolfia vomitoria, which is rich in alstonine and is actually very effective, just like flavopererine, which is the active of the Pauperera plant.
So how readily available, you're based out in New York and you're working with, you said, Columbia University. And
over the years, we have also worked with Kansas University. We have also had a clinical trial at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. So, okay. I mean, we have, depending on the organ and the research program, we have worked with different academic institutions.
And how readily available are these compounds to the general population?
Yes, right? Well, for the compounds, as a lawyer, my first thing was to make sure that there is no approval from the FDA for dietary supplements, but new dietary ingredients which have not been largely commercialized before 94, there is a filing that has to be done with the FDA. So I did that. So they are available as dietary ingredient with the proper filing with the FDA. And if you go to Maison Beljansky, they are available as dietary supplements.